Okay, so one of the things that you want to do whenever you're working with these water lines and stuff like that, especially pipes that are like the roughing or pipes that are inside the walls, you want to go to the main water supply valve and shut it off. In this case, this is the one. You have to look sometimes on the meter box, the water meter box, or if you have, like, you live in a multi-dwelling building, you need to maybe shut down the water for everything, or maybe it was separated before. So what we're gonna do now is just kind of go ahead and close it, and we're gonna drain the system a little bit to reduce the pressure. I'm gonna do that by just opening one of the faucets on the lower part of the house. Now, when you open the water over here on the one that we're gonna replace, you may expect the water to kind of soak in if you actually remove some pressure. In other words, it's gonna kind of just it's gonna create some sort of vacuum. Let me see if you can hear. So that is an indication, and I say that because sometimes there is a lot of water that can fall and can damage your ceilings or whatever. That's an indication that the water is actually getting sucked from the bottom by gravity. So that's a good sign, and you just kind of let it go down, and you can start working on your preparation for the new piping and stuff. Once you have the chosen faucet, in this case is a shower faucet. This one, for your reference, is this one there. Okay, so the box comes with a registration. This registration is important for you to fill up. I know that it's tedious sometimes, but it will allow you to save through the company the information of your faucets. If one day you lose a gasket, it was leaking or whatever, you can actually refer to that and find it better. What you see here is the trim piece, and this will be the plate that is going to cover right at the end. And over here we have some other stuff. This one here, let me try to get it correctly. This one here is the shower faucet. This one is a pretty much 3-piece. Sometimes when you have a tub, you have like a 4 outlet over here, but in this case you have the shower and the water, the hot and the cold water. So it comes with this little support or whatever. This is actually a measure for your finish roughing. The roughing is what's going to be inside the wall, so you want to make sure that you maintain yourself on these lines, because that's how the finishing parts work. When it comes to the installation of these faucets, you have different choices. You can work with copper, you can work with PVC, you can work with galvanized and other materials that are available in your country or whatever, or your state or whatever, if you're in the United States. But you defer, you have to kind of look for the regulations or whatever, or what you can do. Now, what I have here is a system called PEX. Now, I do have the same thing for copper and other places, depending on the application that I have. But in this case, PEX kind of offers a good solution. It works with these rims and these little, clamps, and you can have, other type of clamps depending on what type of work you're doing. I find the little pinching clamps, which is this little thing that get pinched by this key, let's say this wrench, and you can cut it with this material. With this plier, I guess, a cutter. It's a really good material to work with. You have less metals and lead and other things. Obviously, we get to the chemical composition of the pipes, we may get into trouble by formaldehyde or other things. But anyway, it's a really good, reliable material to work with, really easy to work with. You don't need to weld anything, just kind of put some pressure in, that's it. So we have 3 male outlets over here. So we're gonna use this, 1/2-inch PEX female adapters with Teflon. So you want to make sure that you put this well, and you use these vice grips. You want to make sure that you tie this really well. Don't put too much pressure into one particular point. You want to kind of counteract your force with the other direction of the plier when you're putting this together. Just common sense. You don't want to damage the threads by holding it in the place that is not appropriate. So let's continue. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, if you notice, we have this old faucet here, Not, it's not like it's wrong or whatever. It was not leaking or whatever. But we put in a new one because new finish or whatever. So we have the male adapters already. I mean the female adapters installed already with the Teflon tape. But you can use liquid tape. I mean, yeah, liquid Teflon, whatever. But here is the important thing. If you notice, I mean, although this thing was not placed over there, if you notice, you have a board in the back. This faucet right now is like 48 inches high, and I want mine a little bit shorter, a little bit lower, and that's for the comfort or your hands. I noticed that the higher it is, the more uncomfortable it becomes sometimes to operate. So for people that is a little shorter, just bring it down about 40 inches. Is better, than being like 48 inches. That's just my choice. Obviously, you can put it as high as low as you may want. As comfortable as you feel it will be. What we're gonna do is we're going to make sure that whenever we install this, we count for the thickness of the wall. Meaning, in this case, if I explain, it will be a half inch or 7/16 of the concrete board, then an eighth of an inch of cement, and then about 3/8 of an inch of the porcelain that I'm going to install. So that will come to, a little bit closer to like one something, 1 inch and a few sixteenths. So I want to make sure that whenever I install this, I'm either flush or just a little bit out in the bottom part of it, so I can actually accomplish the height that I want. That's really, really crucial. So you may want to cut another piece of board or wood or whatever it is, but you want to make sure that it's nice and secure there. So let's continue with that, and I'll show you some of the fittings that so what we're gonna do here, I just made this section in the Spanish version, but this is what you have over here, the clamps and the elbow. So I'm gonna give you a demonstration with the hot water. Now sometimes I'm a little curious and I like to use colors. So this one is for the cold water on the right hand side, and the red for the left hand side where the hot water is gonna come. So what you do is this pretty much. We already fastened this really well. So you put your piece here after you cut it with a cutter like this or a knife or whatever. Then after that, you want to go ahead and put your ring. This little ring is going to come over here, and you want to make sure that when you install it, your ring is about an eighth of an inch from the end of your feature. So that's what it is, about an eighth of an inch over here. So you proceed to tie that with your clamp. Just remember that it's going to come over here. You're going to give some pressure, and that's pretty much it. You have your clamp there. Let's continue with the elbow. I'm going to put again the ring, and I'm going to put an elbow here and bring it up to an eighth of an inch right there. Then go ahead and tie that back again. And that's how it works. That's how we continue, and that's pretty much the process that we're gonna take with the rest of the stuff. Adapting the other one, we're gonna cut the other one. We're gonna put this to the height that we want. Once you finish installing your support in the back, determine the depth of your faucet according to the size that we spoke about a moment ago. Now you proceed with the installation. As you can see here, I did what we did a while ago, and here what I did is I did a transition from the head that is over there to here. Now this is going to be changed, but the support that is in the inside is pretty much the same one, so I don't need to replace that one to break the wall, especially that I don't want to be that intrusive right now with the finish. We're doing a renovation or remodeling. What else? Those screws, I use 3-inch screws, exterior screws. I like that, and I use some 2-inch screws in this side to support and make sure that you don't go through all the walls or whatever. So it's really well, and besides that, it's nice and straight. It's actually level. So when you place your little things here, you want to make sure that. Hold on, let me put it well. You want to make sure that is nice and level, and put it here so you can see well. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's nice and level. So the next thing that we need to do is pretty much continue with closing the walls and doing all the tile work. I'm gonna be doing videos of other stuff, but let's continue with that. Once you finish with your tile work, let me do. Okay, here you go. Once you finish with your tiles, you wanna go ahead and put your plates. So let's see. I have the plate cover over here, and in this case, because it's a fairly simple valve, all the components that will regulate the hot and cold water will be placed inside this section over here. So this thing has a seal, and if you put your screws really well, then you will be able to maintain that seal. It has like a foamy seal. That will be enough. And you can change the shower head as well. I just went ahead and did that. You know, just kind of place it, depending on where you are or whatever. This is the one that came with the system. So we're gonna go ahead and install the plate, with two screws, and then just continue with the regular. Once you finish with your tiling and all the stuff, you can pretty much go ahead and finish with your handles and all that like you saw. So for that, you want to make sure that you remove obviously the old one. You use some Teflon on the on the pipes, and just pretty much adjust the temperature to whatever you want. What you saw there was the maximum in hot water, so you will be safe at that time, I guess, at that point. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video will help you to understand how to make your own projects. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are, thank you as always. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.